Hello, I'm Tom Wilkinson from Thinking in English, and welcome to an episode of Vocabulary in the News, where we learn English from some of the biggest news stories of the week. Two of the biggest names in technology and artificial intelligence have been facing each other in court recently. Elon Musk, known for Tesla, SpaceX, Twitter, and his role in US politics, and Sam Altman, known for OpenAI and ChatGPT, were once collaborators. They once worked together. Both men were early figures behind OpenAI. OpenAI originally aimed to develop AI technology for the benefit of humanity, not for profit. But over time, the organization has changed. OpenAI introduced a commercial side, started moving away from its not-for-profit status, and is now the biggest or one of the biggest groups in the global AI industry. Elon Musk has accused OpenAI of betraying its original mission as a non-profit organization. He argues that the company has moved away from its founding principles. OpenAI claims that Musk is acting out of self-interest and trying to damage a competitor. Musk now owns the competitor xAI. So in this episode of Thinking in English, instead of focusing on the complex details of the case, I want to use this story as a way to learn some advanced vocabulary. This is the kind of language you'll hear in news reports about business, law, and technology. In fact, all of the terms I'm going to introduce to you have come from a BBC News article that I will link in the description of this episode. So, let's get started and look at some advanced vocabulary. Lawsuit. A lawsuit is a formal, legal dispute or argument or a legal case brought into a court. It usually begins when one side, the plaintiff, claims that another side, the defendant, has caused harm in some way, or acted unfairly, or broken an agreement. Lawsuits can involve individuals, companies, governments, charities, and they usually try to solve a disagreement over issues like money or contracts. In this case, Elon Musk has filed a lawsuit against OpenAI. His claim is that the company has violated its original purpose as a non-profit organization. This makes the lawsuit a little bit unusual, as it kind of is both legal and ideological. Of course, it's about money, but it's also about principles. To take the stand. To take the stand means to give evidence in court. It is when you speak in front of the judge and jury. When someone takes the stand, they sit in a specific place, called the witness stand, and answer questions from lawyers. Their statements can be challenged or questioned. Musk has taken the stand in this lawsuit to explain his perspective on OpenAI's transformation. This is significant because it shows Elon Musk is personally involved in the case. He is so involved in it that he appeared in court himself. Charity. A charity is an organization that aims to help people or society and does not try to make a profit. For instance, charities focus on poverty or education or healthcare. Charities rely on donations and are expected to use their resources and their donations responsibly for the public good. The idea of what a charity is, or the idea of charity, is at the center of the arguments between Elon Musk and Sam Altman. Musk claims that OpenAI was originally structured like a charity. Its goal was to serve humanity. Its goal wasn't to make money. His accusation is that the company has moved away from that purpose. To loot. To loot means to steal. It's especially used during chaotic or lawless situations like wars or disasters. You'll often see reports about looters stealing things during major protests. They are looting. However, loot can also be used metaphorically. In this case, Musk uses the word loot to suggest that OpenAI has taken something valuable, its original mission, or its resources, in a dishonest way. This is a very powerful and emotional choice of language. He could have said misuse or mismanage, but loot makes the accusation sound far more serious and dramatic. Competitor. A competitor is any individual or organization that is trying to achieve the same goal as another. In business, this means companies competing for customers, or market share or influence. Pepsi is a competitor of Coca-Cola. They both sell sweet soda products, so they are constantly trying to attract customers from each other. OpenAI describes Musk as a competitor. This is important because it changes how you interpret his actions or how you judge his actions. If he is a competitor to OpenAI in the AI space, then his lawsuit could just be a way to weaken one of his rivals. To kneecap. Literally, to kneecap someone means to shoot them in the knee. This is an incredibly violent act which is intended to permanently disable someone. As you might imagine, the metaphorical meaning is also very strong. In business or politics, or in this metaphorical sense, to kneecap means to seriously weaken, damage, or limit the ability of someone to succeed. OpenAI is suggesting that Musk is trying to kneecap the company. In other words, they believe he is using the legal system as a way to harm their progress in the AI industry. To take an oath. To take an oath means to make a formal and legally binding promise. The promise is usually to tell the truth or act honestly. In a courtroom, witnesses and jurors must take an oath before participating. Sometimes you can take an oath on a religious book, like the Bible. In this case, the jurors and witnesses have been reminded that they have taken an oath to remain neutral and fair. Breaking an oath can also have serious legal consequences. To regulate. To regulate means to control or supervise an activity through rules and laws. It is usually a government or an official authority that regulates something. Regulation is especially important in industries that can have major social or economic influence, like finance and healthcare and technology. There is a concern that governments are not doing enough to regulate AI. AI is developing rapidly, and many people believe stronger regulation is needed to prevent misuse and harm. Non-profit. A non-profit organization is an organization that does not distribute profits to owners or shareholders. Instead, any money it earns is reinvested into its mission or goals. Most companies, or normal companies, if they make a profit, they will give some of that profit to the people who own the company, the shareholders, or the investors. In a non-profit, any money the company makes stays inside the company to help keep it growing. OpenAI began as a non-profit. Its purpose was supposed to benefit humanity, research AI, create AI products that were going to help the world. It wasn't designed to generate a profit for people who own the company. Elon Musk's argument in the lawsuit is based on the idea that the original structure of OpenAI, being not-for-profit, has been compromised. Commercial arm. A commercial arm is a division of an organization that focuses on generating revenue. Non-profit organizations, even though their purpose is not to make money, sometimes create commercial arms to fund their activities. In this case, OpenAI created a commercial arm to develop and sell AI products like ChatGPT. This decision is one of the reasons for the conflict. Musk argues that making a commercial arm is a move away from the organization's original mission. wrongful gains. Wrongful gains refers to money earned or obtained through illegal, unethical, or unfair means. This is a formal legal term often used in lawsuits involving financial disputes. Elon Musk is asking for billions of dollars in what he calls wrongful gains. He believes that OpenAI has profited in a way that goes against its original purpose. Breach of trust. A breach of trust happens when someone breaks a responsibility or some confidence placed in them. For example, if a company promises to act in a certain way but doesn't, that could be seen as a breach of trust. Elon Musk, in his lawsuit, is arguing that OpenAI has committed a breach of trust. OpenAI promised to act in the public interest, but later changed direction. Unjust enrichment. Unjust enrichment is a formal legal concept. It means benefiting unfairly at someone else's expense. For example, if a company makes money through unethical behavior, it might be accused of unjust enrichment. Musk's legal team argues that OpenAI has been unjustly enriched, meaning it has gained financially in a way that is unfair. This is quite advanced legal vocabulary, but it does appear frequently in business and legal contexts. To derail. To derail originally means for a train to leave its tracks. When a train derails, it will cause an accident. Metaphorically, to derail means to disrupt or completely stop progress. OpenAI is accusing Musk of trying to derail the company's development. They believe he is attempting to stop their success and actively interfere with their future. Before we move on to the quiz, let's take a moment to reflect and use some of the ideas we've just discussed. Here are a few questions for you to think about. Maybe you can pause the episode and answer them out loud, or leave a comment, or just think about your ideas. First, should AI companies be non-profit or commercial? Do you think organizations developing powerful technology should focus on helping society? Is it acceptable for them to try and make money? You could also think about whether a mix of both is possible, like having a non-profit mission but a commercial arm. Second, do you personally trust big tech companies? OpenAI now has a huge influence in many people's lives. They own ChatGPT. Do you think big companies act responsibly? Or do you think they are mainly focused on profit and competition? Is competition always a good thing? Competition can drive innovation and improvement, but it can also lead to aggressive behavior, like trying to kneecap competitors or dominate a market. But what do you think? Is competition always positive? Or are there situations where it causes more harm than good? So now I've introduced all of that new vocabulary, I thought we would end this episode with a vocabulary quiz. I'm going to ask you 10 multiple choice questions, and I want you to choose the correct answer and let me know how you did. Question number 1. Musk filed a competitor, B, lawsuit, C, oath against OpenAI. The answer is lawsuit. A lawsuit is a legal case that is brought to court. File a lawsuit is a very common collocation. Question number 2. In court, Elon Musk decided to A. Take the stand, B. Derail, C. Regulate, and explain his version of events. The answer is A. Take the stand. Take the stand means to stand up in court, or I guess sit down at the witness stand and answer questions or give your perspective or feedback to the court. Question number 3. A. Commercial, B. Competitor, C. Charity, organization, focuses on helping society rather than making profit. The answer is C. Charity. A charity organisation focuses on helping society. That's what charities do. Question 4. The government is trying to A. Influence, B. Regulate, C. Loot AI technology with new laws. The answer is B. Regulate. Introducing laws is a way to regulate technology. However, A. Influence could also be a correct option depending on the context. Influence means to have an impact or direct the progress of something in some way. So the answer I was going for is regulate, but influence could also be an option as well. 5. Some people believe that Musk is trying to damage A. Charity, B. Competitor, C. Oath. The answer is B. Competitor. Elon Musk is trying to damage one of his competitors, potentially. He owns xAI and Grok. OpenAI owns ChatGPT. 6. The company created A. Breach of trust, B. Commercial arm, C. Lawsuit, to start making money from its technology. The answer is B. Commercial arm. A commercial arm of a non-profit is part of the company that can make money, can make a profit. 7. If a company earns money in an unfair or illegal way, it may be accused of making A. Wrongful gains, B. An oath, C. Influence. The answer is A. Wrongful gains. Wrongful gains is money or something gained from unfair or unethical practices. 8. Breaking a responsibility or promise is known as A. Unjust enrichment, B. Breach of trust, C. Competitor. The answer is B. Breach of trust. A breach of trust is when you break a promise or responsibility in a legal sense. Question 9. If someone tries to stop a project from succeeding, they are trying to A. Derail, B. Regulate, C. Take the stand, it. The answer is A. Derail it. If someone wants to stop a project from succeeding, one way is to derail the project. Like when you push a train off its tracks, it crashes. You can also derail a project. And finally, question 10. In court, jurors must A. Loot, B. Kneecap, C. Take an oath, to be fair and honest. The answer is C. Take an oath. It means to promise, to be fair and honest. So, how did you do in the quiz? Leave a comment and let me know. Some of you may have listened to this episode as an audio episode. I think in the future it's going to be mainly video based. I think during the quiz by video is better perhaps. But let me know what you think. This is the pilot episode in this new series. And if you like it, I would love to make more episodes like this. I really enjoyed this kind of concept of taking words from articles and explaining the background to the article, to the concept, using the vocabulary. Leave a comment on Patreon or wherever you're listening, and I'll speak to you next time. Goodbye.